everybody. I'm just getting situated here. It's around 3 p.m. I'm going to wait a couple more minutes so we get some people on. I'm going live on YouTube as well as live on Facebook. Bear with me. All right, so it looks like we have a bunch of people already logging in. That's fantastic. I just want to say that we had to close up our operations, and it was a very difficult decision for us. And I know that our community is under a lot of stress. You know, I can only imagine some of the families that have a lot of kids and are really struggling right now. It's a very challenging time for a lot of people. And I've been asked to do some talks and some education on how to improve resiliency, because right now is the best time. I try to look at things positive. I don't think there's going to be another time in my lifetime that I'm going to be able to spend the quality time I have with my family right now. So I'm making the best of it. And that's one thing I'd highly suggest for everybody is even though it's a very stressful time, we're not going to get this time back. So try to spend as much time with your family as possible. All right, so let's dive into this, because stress is one of the most common things that I treat, and in fact, it is the number one cause of disease in the whole entire world. So if we break down stress into the foundations of what happens when somebody gets stressed and the biochemistry that occurs under a stress response, we start actually getting sicker and sicker and sicker. So we're thinking about COVID-19, and the people that are really being affected by COVID-19 are the people that have immune compromise. And when we think about it from the perspective of the immune system, the one thing that actually affects the immune system the most is actually stress. Yes, so stress will cause the immune system to become suppressed, making us more susceptible to viruses, bacteria, and pathogens. And so I'm hoping today we're going to be able to teach you some strategies that you could actually take home, teach it to your family. I'm a huge fan of reach one, teach one. So what you learn today, please share it. And this is going to be on YouTube, so you could watch it again and again and again and again. All right, so under stress, we produce catecholamines, which are stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. Now, when those stress hormones go up, our immune system becomes more compromised. And so it's important for us to understand that, because then we could actually create a mechanism or a strategy to actually improve the immune system by reducing stress, right? And if you heard me present in the past, if we ever expect the future to change for us, we must change first. So if we ever expect the future around us, our community to change, we have to boost our immune system and change our thought process. It's not that easy. It's very difficult, I'm sure, for a lot of you, just like me when I had to shut down the office to be able to make sure that my employees were safe and my patients are safe coming into our practice. And that's a very difficult decision, and something that I rather err on the side of caution to protect people I care about. So stress. In Chinese medicine, there's 5 elements in Chinese medicine. We have wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Now, each of the 5 elements actually correspond to an emotion. So if I draw out, and you're not going to be able to read my handwriting because it's horrible, but we have wood, fire, earth, metal, water. Now, each element has an emotional component to it. So wood has to deal with anger and anxiety. Fire is joy and happiness. Typically mania, too much joy could be a problem as well. And then we have earth, which is worry and pensiveness, overthinking. Metal is grief and sorrow. Water is fear. So we think about it from a timeline. When we think about things in the future, typically we're consumed of fear and worry. Fear is the kidneys, and worry would be the earth element. So water element and earth element. And then we have the other side is thinking about the past. And that is grief as well as anger. Things I should have done differently. So typically we get stuck in this transition of thinking about the past and thinking about the future, right? So when we think about the future, we worry about what's going to happen. What's going to happen over the next 2 to 4 weeks with COVID-19? What's going to happen to our families? What's going to happen to our businesses? What's going to happen? Are things going to close down, right? So we start thinking about the future, and it creates anxiety and stress today. Now, we could also think about the past, like the would-haves, the could-haves, the should-haves, the grief, the sorrow that we hold on to something that we should have done in the past historically. But, it's like looking at life through the rearview mirror. It's almost impossible to drive a car when you're driving forward and you're looking behind you. Now, what's interesting is this. We have the fire element, which deals with the heart. And that's smack dab, and as well as gratitude. So we have joy and gratitude smack dab in the center. So if in the future is anxiety and stress, in the past is grief and sorrow. If we think about being in the present, we actually create stillness. And the way to gain access is through being gratitude, having gratitude, being grateful for things we have, being grateful for the blessings we have. And that's one strategy I'm going to teach you today. Let's just start being more grateful. Even though the world is around us is crumbling, find something in life that you could be very grateful for. Okay, so I'm grateful for everybody on this call right now. We have a lot of people on, so I really appreciate it. About 40 or 50 people on this right now. So thank you so much for joining me. So we need to become more present. So easier said than done, because our thoughts are the language of the mind, and our emotions are the language of the body, which means that our thoughts could cause an emotional response, right? So our thoughts could cause us to feel a certain way. Now, if the brain or the thoughts are the language of the mind, and the emotions are the language of the body, the feeling is actually the heart space. So what we need to do is gain access to a heart. The more we have access to the heart at the present time, we're going to become much more present as human beings. The one technique I want to teach today is called thought field therapy. It's a tapping technique. And we're going to do an exercise together. And we're going to do it collectively. And you're going to find one stressor. I'm going to write down a couple of different stressors for me. If you have a pen or paper, just write down a stressor. Maybe it is COVID-19. Maybe it's financial hardship. Maybe it's the fact that you're concerned about a loved one, or whatever it is. We're going to just write that down, because what we need to do is try to decrease the emotional attachment to that stress. Now, the stress is always going to be there, but it's how we respond to the stressor. So we need to teach you how to actually respond to stressors more optimally, so you can maximize your health. Right. So remember, stress goes up, immune system function goes down. So we want to decrease the stress, our immune system actually elevates. So we're actually treating ourselves from the inside out. All right, right. So this is called thought field therapy, and we're going to start by tapping. So think about one stressor and quantify that stressor. I'm going to write mine down right now. Okay. And my stressor is 10 out of 10. So 10 is the highest it can be. 0 is the lowest it can be. And so mine is at about a 10 now. So what we're going to do this, we're going to tap together, and you're just going to follow my lead. All right. And as we follow the lead, you're just going to do what I do. You don't have to do anything fancy. All right. There's different type of tapping techniques out there where you have to repeat and do a mantra. I don't want you to repeat. You're just going to think about what the stressor is. Right. I got mine in my head. I have a quantification of that number. We're going to go through one cycle of this tapping sequence, and then we're going to reassess. All right. And then we do another cycle of it, and we're going to do it again and again and again. And I'm hoping that by the time we're done with this conversation today, you won't memorize the whole entire thing, but you can feel a lot better. Right. I'm a huge fan of teaching a man to fish versus giving a man to fish. I want to teach you guys to fish so you can eat for a lifetime. So I want to teach you strategies that you can heal yourself. And if you need me, you call me. Okay. Or email me. All right, so this is the first position we're going to start with. I'm going to start by tapping here. So just join me on this. Everybody, just tap with me. Let me make sure everybody can see me. So we're going to tap just like this. And you don't have to think about the stressor, you already thought about it. All right, just follow my lead. Then you can tap between the eyebrows. And then you're going to tap the side of the temple. And then you're going to tap under the eye. Now we're going to tap in the armpit. Now we're tapping on certain acupuncture points that are going to help balance those 5 elements that we talked about. Good. Now we're going to tap the sternum. This is a very, very powerful kidney point. Remember, kidney deals with fear. So it's going to help balance or regulate the stress response of fear. Now we're going to tap the finger. Now this is part of the heart channel. This also will correlate to anger and anxiety. This is your large intestine channel, which will help deal with grief. Now we're going to go back to the kidney channel, your sternum. And this will help support the adrenals. So under our stress response, our adrenals produce these hormones, adrenaline, cortisol, and they start getting fatigued over time. In Chinese medicine, we call it the jing. The jing gets depleted, and that's our ancestral DNA. Good. Now, next one's going to be kind of funky. Between the 4th and 5th knuckle, I want you to tap right here. As you're tapping here, you're going to close your eyes, open your eyes. Then you're going to look down to your left, right, and now you can do eye circles. One way, eye circles, the other way. Now you're going to hum. Now we're going to count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hum again. Great. Now we're going to go back to the top. Tapping between the eyebrows again. This is part of the bladder channel. There's also a very powerful acupuncture point here called yin tong, which calms the mind and relaxes you. Now this is a point called tai yang. It opens up the brain and causes relaxation. And then back underneath your eye, this is part of the stomach channel to help with the worry. Back underneath the armpit, this is the gallbladder channel. And this allows us to make the proper decisions in our life. And then we go back to the kidney channel. And we're going to go back to the pinky again, the heart channel. So the intention of this is to actually balance and regulate the 5 elements inside our body: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Then we'll go back to the index finger for the large intestine, help with grief and sorrow. And we go back to the sternum. And that's one complete set. So now just close your eyes for a second. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. Now think about that stressor again. And I want you to think about how it feels differently now. So ask this question: how do I feel differently now? And where do I feel it differently inside my body? So I was at a 10 before. I'm about a 4 or 5. So we're going to do this cycle again. And we're going to do this until we get down to around a 2 or a 3. Now, if I get to my 2 or 3 before you do, feel free to watch this again and just repeat the motions. All right? So we're going back to the top. Opening up the 3rd eye. Calming the mind. Deleting the emotional attachments to the past. Underneath the armpit. Father Lou, I miss you too, a lot. And thank you for your prayers every day. Back to the sternum. Back to the pinky again, opening up the heart channel. Index finger, nail bed. Back to the sternum. So we close this cycle by going back to the sternum. Now we're going to go back to the funky one, between the fourth and fifth knuckle. Now close your eyes, open your eyes. Look down to your left, look down to your right. Eye circles one way, eye circles the other way. Now hum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hum again. Back to the top. I'm already starting to feel a shift. I'm actually warming up a lot. Back under the eye. You guys are doing incredible. Keep it up. Armpit. Back to the sternum again. Now these type of workshops we're going to be doing daily until we reopen. Tomorrow we're going to be doing the Tibetan 5 rites, which is a yogic practice. Back to the pinky. To help regulate hormones and reduce stress. We're also going to do Chinese medicine, Qigong. I'll show you, we're going to do that at the end. I'll show you a little sample of that, which is called Tongren. It's Chinese energy medicine. And back to the sternum. Now close your eyes, take a deep breath in. Exhale. All right, I feel a lot better. So I'm around a 1 or a 2. So those of you that are watching, type in, let me know how you feel differently right now so I get some feedback. Good. Some of you around a 2, went down to a 3. That's great. Some of you are around a 5, so just keep practicing. And so we just keep on doing that practice. And it's easy to do this every single day. So once you memorize it, we have this posted on our YouTube page. It's a stress gone in 60 seconds or less. Instead of watching this whole entire video, you could easily go back in and yeah, people are feeling a lot better. Thank God, that's great. And so just watch this video or the YouTube video over and over and over again. It's called Thought Field Therapy. Do research on it. There's been times when I use this in my life where I spent a lot of time, just a whole entire weekend working on past traumas and future fears and phobias. I would highly suggest practicing that. Now, tomorrow we're going to be hosting another event. I think we're going to do the same time at 3 p.m. We're going to go live on YouTube as well as live on Facebook. And tomorrow we're going to be doing the Tibetan 5 rites, which is 5 simple yogic movement patterns that help regulate hormones, balance stress. It's actually an elixir of longevity. The Taoist monks, they used to practice this dating back to 2,500 years ago. And it's simple 5 movements that you can do on a daily basis to help regulate your hormones and reduce stress. And then I think the next workshop after that, we do something known as Tongren therapy. And it's Chinese medical Qigong work. And what we do is we use a doll, and this is representation of you. And I use my thoughts to actually send qi or energy to different parts of the body. And this is extremely effective. I might do a double session tomorrow. I might do the Tibetan 5 rites tomorrow. And this to help out with stress and anxiety. All right. Again, I just want to thank everybody for jumping on this. I know that it's a very difficult time. We have a challenge ahead of us. I don't know if it's going to get any better anytime soon, but at least we'll stick together. All right. God bless everybody. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate everybody tuning in on this. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.